You know, I was beginning to wonder if we'd ever get a chance, JB, to speak with players from this school. It's been an interesting time between us and Endicott, and I'm thrilled. We talked things over with them after some confusion and misconstruing things in the past. We are working with Dr. Wiley, the AD at Endicott. We had a great conversation with him. Seems like a very good leader at that school. Sean Medeiros, their SID as well. We are looking to build a great relationship with Endicott in the future here. It's starting right now, actually. This is one of your favorite players, has been for a little while, and you spotted when he was back in the game a couple of weeks ago how happy you were. Go ahead and introduce him.
Yeah, from Endicott College, a senior quarterback, Joe Kalosky, also from my home state of Connecticut. So welcome, Joe, onto In the Huddle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Joe, 31 for 39. I think it was your career high in pass completions on Saturday. I think fourth all time for Endicott. A little bird told us before the interview. But more importantly, and we've been saying it all week, not quite like my Becker comparisons a week earlier, but Salve was not really a 1-3 team. Maybe in the record book they were, but in reality they were not. They gave you guys fits all day. I think you were behind twice in that game. Your kicker came through like unbelievably. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But you, with that efficiency, you played a possession role more than anything else, but 2 touchdowns, obviously scoring 2. Give us the game flow of that game. Were you concerned at all? What were you feeling even before the game about this Salve Regina team, knowing what you knew over the years here? Take us through it.
Well, senior now, so the senior class, they've had our number for the first 3 years. And we saw the record coming in. They just lost to Nichols the previous week, and we said don't take them lightly. Like, they've had our number. We can't come out flat. We have to start fast. Last year, we spotted them 14 points. Wasn't looking so good. We dug ourselves a big hole. This year, we want to come out fast. Unfortunately, we did not come out that fast. We took the ball in the opening kickoff, and then on 3rd and long, I got strip sacked, and they like to cover the ball inside the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, we spot them 7 points. So things are running through our head, but we sort of some resiliency, and we fought back, so it was good.
Did I mean at halftime? I think you were still down a point, if I remember correctly. So what was Coach telling you during that? Coach McGonigal, what was his speech like at halftime?
Well, right before halftime, they scored with about, I'd say, under 40 seconds left, and they pooch kicked it to us, and we got decent field position, and then we got illegal hands to the face in the defense, so we actually got across the 50. We threw a quick pass to Riley Shanley, get into field goal range for Deeks because Nick is just unbelievable. And we were actually able to get a 47-yarder before halftime, really gave us momentum after giving up a touchdown with under 40 seconds left in the half to make it, I think it was 14-13 at halftime.
We just played the clip of that field goal. So what did Coach say, though?
Coach was just, we're in a dogfight, 12-round dogfight. We've been here before. And just basically play by play, give it your all. Don't look at the outcome. Don't be like, oh crap, like past years we've fallen to this team. Come out in the second half, play our game, and we'll come out victorious.
Well, Joe, here we're about at the midpoint of the season going into week 6. And even though Frank and my picking acumen might get a D-, you guys have certainly earned a solid A in my book as far as, the first half of the season. You've won 4 of your 5 games and probably could have won the 5th one. It was a close call. What were some of the lessons that you guys took away from that battle with Wesley that really just showed that you guys have kind of moved it up a notch to really being able to compete on a national level?
Well, I think the Wesley was obviously winning would be unbelievable, but honestly we learned a lot. Losing a close game to a ranked team, I think they were 15th, and it basically showed us that we could play with anyone in the nation. It was great to have them come up here on our home turf, and we played well.
True that.
I think it definitely helped in this game. I mean, it was a close call too, where you guys had to fight back and behind. Certainly, builds character. But going back to the whole midterm thing here, what would you say, kind of looking back on the first 5 games, or 3 things that you feel your team is doing really well right now, and what are some areas that you think that there's still some opportunity to get a little better?
I think our defense is playing unreal. Also on the offensive side, I think red zone, we have a pretty good percentage, but I think we need to not rely on Deeks as much, and as an offense, punch in ourselves. A few possessions, even the Salve game, we had to settle for, I think, 4 field goals. But if we were able to execute, be a much different outcome in that game.
So I'm looking at your game log, as they call it, on your roster page, and you have no stats showing for the second and third games of the season. Tell folks what happened to you and what the road back was exactly for you for this season, because you were obviously missed in those 2 games. There's no doubt with your skill and your history at Endicott, you're kind of a needed piece for them. But tell folks what had happened to you.
In the second quarter of Framingham, I rolled my ankle pretty good. I was able to finish out that game on adrenaline, but then obviously it blew up after. Wasn't even close to ready for Rochester. Wesley was like, could I play? Could I not play? But conference is obviously our biggest mindset, because we want to obviously win the conference and get into the playoffs. So holding me out, I think, was the smart move. I'm coming back. I feel great. Been able to play. Moving around better now. So feeling good.
With those stats from Saturday, JB, I think he's proving that he's doing just fine. Thank you. At 31 for 39, 286, 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So, Joe, tell us a little about your next opponent this bye week. I hear people are kind of undefeated against it. Any chances for you guys really going to it sort of falls in a perfect spot, right? It's kind of right in the middle of the season. You've got a couple of conference games under your belt, and you're going to come back and starting to get ready for Curry. What's a bye week like for you guys up at Endicott?
We treat it as a normal game week. We're going to prepare for our next opponent. It is great that we don't have a game on Saturday, because a lot of guys are banged up. So it's good to get a week off. We can refocus, direct midpoint, and then second half of the season, we're just going to have to go all out, focus. But bye weeks, same practice schedule, same everything, same meetings, all that. Nothing's changing. And because we don't want to get off our regimen and mess up anything, so we're just treating it like a normal game week.
You had mentioned Deeks. I want to make sure I get the name fully correct here. Nick DiCarano. Is that the correct pronunciation of your kicker?
Yes.
And so Nick went, 3 for 3 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points on Saturday, if my count was correct. 12 points on the day. 47-yard field goal, as you pointed out, just before halftime. We long time ago, who was it? Coach Isernia, I think it was possibly, or Coach Boder at RPI, talking about Andrew Franks brought up the point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The kicking position is the same in Division III and Division I to a certain degree, because a kick is a kick. And this guy's hitting 40-plus yarders and hitting with a great efficiency right now. I mean, tell us about your kicker. Well, we don't get to talk enough about these guys. You seem to have a good relationship with Nick. Feel free to tell any wild stories, since he can't respond to them right now. But he's trolled me on Twitter a little bit, but he's also been fair with me. I'll say that much. But go ahead. Give us a little Nick story or two here about what you think of him.
I'm not going to give you any stories, but Nick is a great weapon. He makes our offensive play calling like a lot easier. We don't have to force it when we're inside or outside the 20. We could rely on him to hit a 40-plus yarder. I don't have to throw the ball into coverage. We could run the ball, or I could just throw it out, and basically relying on him more often than not, he's going to get us 3 points and extend our lead. Or if we're losing, he's going to cut the lead down.
I'm going to take one more in a row here, JB, if I can. A couple weeks ago, I decided while I was out playing flag football referee, as one of your teammates pointed out, that the Becker game was going to be close. This is going to live in infamy. It was part of our open the previous week and everything else. Did you guys know of In the Huddle that much at that point? And I mean, I got to be honest, you guys were pretty restrained with me. You could have been a lot worse about my prediction and how bad it was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we poked fun at ourselves even on that.
You still picked them to win, but yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't even close. Come on.
No.
Luckily, I didn't even take a point for it because we didn't officially pick that game that week. But, I mean, when you see something like that, you guys, what is your reaction? D3 coverage is not as good as D1 coverage, obviously, and you have shills like me out there making these predictions. I mean, what was going through your guys' mind? Was this being talked about? And I mean, when the game was done, was there like, hey, screw that Rossi guy. How bad did he make that prediction? Let's go on Twitter and get him. I mean, how does it work on your end? Because we always kind of see it from ours, but we never see it from the players' end.
I mean, we saw it pre-game. I think it actually was the Saturday morning of that we were only projected to win by 3 points in a battle in the second half, and that kind of gave us a little fuel. We came off a tough loss, but we were able to refocus and come out hot. I mean, the first quarter wasn't great. We were only up 7-0 in the first quarter, but then we scored 35 unanswered in the second. And then after the game, post game, someone brought it up and was like, "Oh, we got projected to win by 3 or something." Like, that guy's not too smart. No offense, but and then some of my teammates took it to Twitter, and I thought they were pretty respectable comments back, and they're also pretty funny.
Yeah.
Harvard Law School agrees with you. Trust me that me not so smart. But JB, why don't we roll out of here with the way we normally do with our student athletes? Go ahead. You can end this one.
Well,
I hide my head.
Well, no, it's yeah, exactly. But I want to know a little bit more about Joe, because you weren't the first Kowalski to come to Endicott, and so Plymouth, Connecticut originally, but you went to school down in New Jersey. Was it basically kind of following Big Brother to school that helped you decide to come to Endicott? And tell us a little bit about this. Part of the scheduling is we had to work around this internship that you have. So you're a senior now, and you'll be looking to probably do something after graduation. So tell us a little bit about what got you to Endicott, and then what your plans are when you. Is it too cheesy to say when you leave, fly off, graduate, goals? Okay, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, my brother obviously went here. He transferred here. He was at St. John Fisher, but then he had a major change, and he came to Endicott, closer to home. And I came to all his games. Great family support I have, and I loved it when he was here. Loved the atmosphere. Loved the campus. Obviously, every football player, every athlete, or shooting higher. Oh, I want to go D1. I want to go D2. I basically had set in my heart that if I was going D3, it would be at Endicott, because this college, you step on this campus and it's like no other, especially at D3. Campus unbelievable. The people here are unbelievable. Athletic programs, all sports are excelling. Growing campus. But yeah, talking about the internship. I'm an education major, so it's called Youth Build in Salem, and it's actually 16 to 24-year-olds that drop out of high school for one reason or another, family, grades, whatever. But they're actually coming back to get their GED, and hopefully they go to a community college, get into the workforce. So I'm educating them, tutoring them, and it's been really rewarding. It's been great. So I don't know what I want to do after college yet. That's still up in the air.
I'm still working on that too, so don't worry about it.
But this internship has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities. So it's been good.
That's awesome. So, I have never actually been on Endicott's campus. So am I still allowed to walk on campus, or am I going to need to bring security with me, do you think?
project us to win pretty good, you can come on campus.
Okay, well, we'll work on that. So what I was telling JB to introduce, I'm going to introduce because we'll alternate on this, and I will tell you that this is the part of the show where you are allowed to give shout-outs to any family, friends, teammates, anybody that might be watching you here. Joe Kalosky, these are your shout-outs. Go ahead.
Just shout out to my family. They've given me great support over the years. My two older brothers, Brian and Kevin, and they're at every game, home, away, doesn't matter. They're going to be going up to Husson to watch my game. It's about 6-7 hour trip for them. Doesn't matter. They're there for me. Shout out to my team. We're resilient this year. I think we have something special going on. Both sides of the ball are playing pretty well. We have a good chemistry in the locker room. Practices, we're always flying around. Good energy. We're trusting one another, and I think we got something going here.
You say both sides of the ball. It's all three phases of the game when it comes to you with that kicker. That's for sure. So,
I got one quick question, Frank. I gotta throw this in there because so Joe, who hits harder, older brothers or opposing linebackers and defensive ends?
I mean, growing up, my two older brothers beat on me pretty good. We're pretty tight knit, but younger brother, they want to antagonize, and then they hit you pretty good, and you're like, well, I gotta chill out. But yeah, I'd say older brothers.
So cool under pressure now, Frank. There it is. It's those big brothers that. Yeah.
Actually, having grown up with an older sister who's 14 years older than me, I'm going to say that she actually probably could hit better than my older brother could. But that's a whole other story for another week right there. Joe, all kidding aside, we have been watching Endicott carefully the last 2 years or 2 seasons and have been really impressed by how you guys have battled different types of adversity along the way. Obviously, changes don't always lead to positivity. You guys are the ones that had to basically watch what was going on and sort of say, let's move things forward. Let's move this program forward. And you've done so really maturely, I would call it, more than anything else. So, again, all kidding aside, we are impressed by you guys. And no matter what happens for him here on out, that won't change. Good luck on what's coming up after this bye week plays out. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully I get up there at some point to see you guys, and you can rib me all you want about 27-24 because nobody will ever forget that score prediction as far as we are going to go here. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I really should have known better than to even suggest that we went with this interview this week. This is just danger waiting to happen. JB, you talked me into it. I mean, the bottom line, it says everything we need to know about them. They are the most eligible bachelors of Western and Central Massachusetts. And you can even hear them laughing in the background already. So this is going to start really, really well. JB, introduce these hot guys.
All right. Well, one of the things I missed in our host chat as far as the most random and interesting stat of the weekend was the fact that the Springfield Pride held the ball for over 45 minutes in kind of a must-win situation where they were able to prevail 21-17 over Norwich. Leading the way, of course, senior quarterback Chad Shade and senior center, Sir Nick Bainter. Welcome once again to In the Huddle.
Hello. My dreams are finally coming true.
Well, you had to share the stage. You had to share the stage with Shade because last time I left you guys in Springfield, that's what happened. That guy had 6 touchdowns against Western New England last year, and you decided to have your friends, video bomb our interview, and then
nice.
I think we should show folks a little bit of what happened with that interview from YouTube. We'll take a few seconds of it right here. Now, I'm very disappointed in you this season because we've had a couple Springfield interviews, and I'm looking in the background, and I don't see you. What's with that, man?
You know what?
the only thing I can do is, get up, get another rep. How can I get better from now on? So I assure you, every time you're here, I'm gonna be in the back. Well, I got.
Like Nick?
So I got actually.
That's good stuff right there.
Okay, so unnecessary censorship. I've never really been a participant in that before, and I didn't show my mother on purpose afterward. Appreciate that, guys. Having a lot of fun with you. So what are we going to do as an encore, I wonder, with this interview? We'll see. But we got to talk some football before anything else. And Springfield's had an odd season, guys. I did not expect this season. You guys are definitely, not in the same position you've been in years past, but this season is far from over at this point in time. Looking at your win-loss record, you're at 2-3 overall, but 1-1 in the conference. 4 teams in that 1-1 position. WPI and Merchant Marine at 2-0, which is a little bit unbelievable to some folks as well right now. What's going on, Chad? Is this team starting to get a little bit of momentum with this Norwich win? And take us through that win, because you guys were ahead, then down by 10, come back to win the game. What were you telling your team along the way to make sure that they would come back in this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the season didn't start off where we wanted it to. We were 1-3 going to this game. We were playing a good Norwich team, and our mindset all week was the stonecutter mentality. All week we were talking about the stonecutter and hammering away at the stone, and maybe the first 100 hits, you don't see anything, maybe but just a little crack. But that 100th hit, you break that stone, and that was kind of our mentality going into this week, going into this game, and being down around these guys, it never really feels like we're down. We just take every snap, every play, and every drive as it is, and we just get up and get another. And I think that was our mentality through the game, and that was the message. This is just keep going and not worry about the score, not worry about the time, but just focus on what we can control. And at the end of the day, we ended up coming out with the win, which was obviously a really big one for us.
Well, guys, one of the things that, like I said, stood out. I mean, you pretty much beat this team by just controlling the clock so well. I mean, what was it, one of these things where it was that sort of part of the strategy to try to keep Dunn off the field as much as possible, or was it just really Nick maybe down in the trenches? It was just you guy, like you said, the hammer is hitting, you're hitting, you're just maybe not getting as long of those 75-yard touchdown runs like you used to, but you just have to keep pounding away. What did it feel like kind of throughout the process of the game while you guys were kind of just keeping that ball for almost the whole time?
Yeah, that's the nature of triple option. You got to embrace the 4-yard gain every single play, and and like I said, the nature of the triple option, you just hammer away, and that's kind of our mentality. Like Chad had mentioned, like bringing it back to the stone cutter. You realize that the stone didn't break because of that last blow. It broke because of every hit before it. And obviously we'd mentioned that was kind of the quote of the week, that story. So we carried that into the game. And, our mentality was just like every game. We're going to attack. We're going to run hard. We're going to play fast and physical. And that's exactly what we did. And like Chad had said, we, there was never a time in the game where we thought this is over or, all the credit to the Norwich guys. They did an awesome job defensively. They were great guys up front, and they were fun to play against as well. They did not let up at all. But also, our game plan was, let's control the ball. We want to have more offensive plays than defensive plays. So, again, embracing the 4-yard gain and hammering away. So.
If we're going to reference stone cutting anymore, I did bring some stones just in case we need to, display it on the show itself. So I've got 2 in case we screw up on the.
There you go.
So just warning, because we've talked about stone cutting more than we've talked about football, I think, in this episode so far. Let's talk a little bit more football, though.
Let's do it.
Union was not the best of situations for you guys, and stone cutting aside, that's a team that has had Springfield's number at times. The rivalry kind of was off for a little bit there. Now back on, it looks like. But, some folks are looking at that Union team, and they beat Hobart pretty soundly on Saturday and said, that's an exceptional team that probably should be ranked at this point. Looking back now, is Union that type of team, and was that a game that you lost but learned a lot from because of how good they are? Kind of give me an assessment on that team and what happened in that game. Chad, we'll go with you.
Yeah, I think with Union, obviously they're a very talented team. Our biggest thing with us was we needed to play better. We would never discredit any other team, and we always just focus on ourselves and what we're doing here at Springfield. And we didn't take care of the football that game, and overall we just had to play better as a team. But playing Union the past couple of years, they're a very good football team. They have a lot of guys that make big plays, and as a team that obviously we want to control the ball. Fumbling the ball a couple of times in that game hurt us, and overall, I mean, we just needed to play a better game and score. I think we only scored a few points in the first half, and that's just not going to get it done against a talented team like that.
Nick, you're like first team All-America, All-World, All-Universe, I think, center this year or something along those lines. But what did you tell the team after that loss? Because you are definitely a leader. We all know you as kind of a funny guy, which you are. But I mean, what did you tell the team after the loss?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that our message was we got to figure it out first and foremost. But understanding that we have the right guys in the room. We have a very talented defense. We have a very talented offense. We just got to put it together. And as you mistake in a football game, and that can cost you the whole game. And so it really came down to understanding that we have the right guys that can get it done on and off the field. So let's just practice hard. Let's focus on those little details, those little things that eventually add up to big things. Correct those mistakes and bring it into game day. And the biggest thing was staying together the whole way through the week of practice, and understanding that our strength is going to come from each other, and that there's no cavalry. It's just us. So,
the Brotherhood.
Well, that's one of the things I noticed about the uniforms this year, where they got the Brotherhood right down the middle of the helmet. I think that's a cool effect. And you guys are obviously offensive players. Let's talk about the Brotherhood of your defense. There are some new names on there from prior years. You don't have a Giorgio or Bianchi back there in the secondary, but there are some guys like AJ Smith, Pavlicek, and others who've been with the team for a while. But there's some new folks, starting to make a name for themselves for the Pride, and you guys really needed them to do that against a very potent Norwich offense, and they got the job done, shutting them down to help you guys hang on there. Tell us a little bit about you practice against these guys for 2 months plus straight now since the preseason. What can you tell us about the Pride defense?
Yeah, obviously our defense did lose some key guys last year, and that's the nature of football. You get your 4 years of playing college ball, and this year we just happened to return, I believe, 3 starters. So there's a lot of new faces, as you mentioned, on our defense, and our coaching staff and all the guys on the defensive side of the ball have done a great job. I mean, they work extremely hard, as all of us do. And I think that just preparation is what led to the success this weekend. Also, our special teams as well. We obviously talk a lot about core and how important that is. And getting a big play on special teams really helped us as an offense. And those guys as defense, I think in the second half, I'm not sure how many plays Norwich ran, but it wasn't many. And it was just credit to our defense, just getting 3 and outs and getting us back on the field. And just obviously we got some new faces, as I said, but those guys worked extremely hard, and they're ready to go every single week. And as Nick talked about, as the kind of the Brotherhood, and there's no cavalry, it's just us. We trust in one another offensively and defensively, and just playing football together as one. Even though we're on different sides of the ball, we play complementary football. We'll be tough to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Chad said, complementary football. You got if you watch one of our games, our defense is just vicious. They fly to the football every single play. You got guys like Chaz Ruffin, who's coming from one side of the field, chasing the ball down the other side, making the play, making the tackle. So that's a mentality throughout our whole defense. Jack Pav, AJ Smith, Chaz, Grayson, they all do an incredible job of, teaching the younger guys, especially like you had mentioned, we got new guys coming in. So they've been doing an incredible job showing them the way and how we do things and the attitude and effort that we display on the field.
Okay.
Before Frank jumps back in, the score there, 85 plays to 39. So, yeah, defense did an awesome job keeping them below 40 plays in a football game. Pretty amazing.
Did they even earn their keep, though? Only defending against 39 plays? I mean, that's a half a day of football right there. I mean, come on now. What the heck? Okay, guys, this has been way too serious of an interview. I'm watching this interview right now, and I'm saying to myself, this is not the Chad Shade and the Nick Bainter that I've grown to love over the last year and a half. So, when we... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's something definitely missing here. Oh, and now they're sitting there rolling up the sleeves. Wait, we're losing Bainter. He's out of here. What's he doing? He's going to go back.
You want to get some snaps?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you want us to do?
Some snaps? We got some helmets.
Hey, that'd be great. Sure. Brian McGoffin could probably throw the football to you guys or something.
Oh my God. Yep. There we go.
Why in the hell is there a
Coach
shake weight in the Springfield office?
Must be Coach Mike's.
Don't
I don't know.
You don't want to know the answers to. Right. So good.
I'm freaking
these
crying
are
right now.
questions you gotta ask. This is his offense.
This is not.
Coach Sarah's over. Sorry. Oh my God.
You need that.
I thought my
Okay.
kids had a lot of toys.
I'm calling a timeout. So when we had Frostburg's offensive line on last year, we decided to ask some questions of them. Oh, now they're sitting back real. Oh no. So we had some questions to see how well they knew each other and everything else. So I want to do the same thing with you guys, but apparently I need to ask the questions right now. I'm going to have my Dunkin' Donuts coffee because I can't even at this point. So what I want you guys to do is point to the person, to be it yourself or the other person that qualifies for the category that I state, okay? So who eats more at dinner? Point to whom?
Jeremy Lips. Yeah, definitely me.
Definitely you. Do you make sure you get in front of him in line so that there's food left there, Chad?
No, actually, I just try to go into a completely different area because there's probably going to be nothing.
Who snores louder at night?
Doing my hands.
Okay.
Put them down, Ricky.
Yeah, actually, go hand to hand right now. No, like
I have small hands, though. For being 6'3", I have. It's not good.
but he's got gnome-like hands right there. I don't know what that is.
Well, he has some chubby fingers.
I do. They're little sausage fingers. Yeah.
Wow.
I got that.
That's how I grew up. The Whopper commercial. That's what it's like when I hold the football.
Okay, who snores
on
louder at night?
Who snores louder?
I don't know. Since I've become a fat lineman, I snore unhealthily. But
I think I might be the winner on this one, actually, out of the four of us. Okay, who is the one that takes the longest to get ready in the locker room? Or the longer, I guess, out of the two of you.
Him, for sure.
Oh, quarterback.
Why is that, Nick? Why is that?
Well, do you want to know?
Yeah.
We got nothing better to do. Hold on.
Chad has to put all his lotion on himself. He has to because he's got all his ointment and stuff because there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, you got to keep me slippery.
I don't know.
If you're covered in that stuff.
And then you gotta, if you look good, then you feel good, then you play good. So it's like you got to take your time, get your eye black on, your half sleeves, the leggings,
all your Vaseline.
Exactly.
Your eczema ointment.
You got the wrist. You got the wrist thing, right? With all the plays and stuff.
No, we don't
do that anymore.
No,
we don't even run plays. Actually,
snap the ball and run around and see what happens.
If this isn't like break records on our in the huddle feed, I don't know what will at this point. Let's see. For baseball, Chad, you're a very good baseball player. A lot of folks don't know, and maybe even you don't know that, but you are. Do you do the same setup? I mean, do you kind of primp and prep for about 3 hours, and you go out to relieve a pitcher because the game's almost over by the time you're done? Or I mean, what do you do?
Well, I actually play the outfield. I don't pitch. I know a lot of people do think I pitch just because of my 6'3" frame and playing quarterback. But I play the outfield actually, and I do probably take just as long. It's a little bit less of a process just because you don't have pads and everything like that. But I do like to get in the hot tub a lot before games because we do happen to play in some 30, low 40-degree weather here in New England when baseball season starts, which can be tough on the old body. So
James loves Florida.
he does.
He loves Florida.
Okay, let me ask 2 more questions.
Come on down.
Yeah, seriously. Join us in the January show in his kitchen, actually. You're more than invited to join us in James's kitchen.
I'll be there.
Should we bring the shake weight?
Yes, please. By all means. Bainter, please stop doing that because it's just giving me a picture in my head I don't need right now. I just don't need this. Okay.
There's the line.
Who does Coach Cerezulo like more out of the 2 of you?
Oh, definitely him.
Yeah, I'm this guy.
I'm center.
Lineman.
They're both the coach.
Yeah.
I'm just the slappy that grabs the ball and runs around.
Yeah, but more importantly, we're really looking forward to spring break at JB's house.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Come on down, guys. I got plenty of room.
Last question.
Trip.
Last question before we commit to this. Who does Coach Webster like better?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
I feel like probably neither of us.
No, he doesn't like either of us.
No, he likes
Who's
his dog,
favorite guy?
Maverick.
He loves Jocko Willink
Jocko Willink and Maverick. He actually got another dog
and named it
named
Jocko.
it Jocko. So his dogs.
That's awesome.
Okay, we know way too much about everybody now. Brian McGoffin's probably in the background right now just cringing at this whole thing, your SID, and we do appreciate him. I do want to get serious for a second. Chad, you were injured last year. You missed most of the season after the game that I left you on, and that just tells everybody I am the curse, and in the huddle is a big curse for a lot of teams, but we know that. Yeah, seriously, against Coast Guard, good luck to you guys, because I don't know what's going to happen to you now. But tell us about what happened. What happened to you? What was the comeback like for you? Did you play baseball in the spring? Were you fully mended? I mean, what happened?
So it was Norwich game last year. Actually, I ended up coming down on my leg a little bit funny. I ended up fracturing my tibial plateau. So if I can actually lift my leg up here. So this bump right here is a plate. I have a plate and 4 screws in my knee. So what happened was my tibia got pretty much crunched, and there was a 4 millimeter depression. They had to bring that back up, so I backfilled it with cadaver bone. So I was out for obviously a little while, rehab that. Tried to come back and play baseball. Ended up popping my hamstring. Did it again a couple weeks, maybe a week or 2 later. So I ended up not being able to play baseball either. So spent a lot of time rehabbing over the summer, and have gotten back and have felt pretty healthy. And it was definitely tough. Being here definitely helped a lot, just with the support that we have within the team, and then obviously with our athletic training staff. I PT in the morning and everything, and it was great. Just the support I had here, I didn't feel like I wasn't a part of it anymore after I got hurt, which was really great. And just having guys like Nick and my other roommates and just everyone on the football team around me was really helpful through that whole process. And I know anybody that's going through an injury or something like that, it does take some time, but it does get better, especially when you're surrounded by great people.
Did Nick, out of sympathy, get? You said you have a metal plate in your knee. Did he get a magnet implanted into his knee so that you guys could, when you walk by each other, just get a little closer?
Oh, geez.
JB, why don't you ask a serious question about Coast Guard or something? Because I know you're waiting.
I actually have to. Okay, I got. Well, first off, guys, I mean, we're talking to you a little early before practice because apparently the state of Massachusetts has been infected by I thought we had mosquitoes down here in Florida. I didn't realize that there was like a mosquito problem up there. I remember hearing about it, speaking of the Coast Guard, which we'll get to in a second, that they had to change the game time for their Nichols game. But so is this Triple E thing kind of changed stuff around for you guys practice-wise? And what's the deal with these mosquitoes up there?
Yeah, well, before practice, I run around with, I try to kill all the mosquitoes. I just kill them all. Try not to get any blood on me. But yeah, no, Triple E is a pretty real thing. So bring your bug spray, be careful. But, we've had to make some adjustments, and, it doesn't matter. We'll make adjustments. Athletics has been doing a good job. Our coaches have been doing a good job coordinating the field times and whatnot. But, it doesn't matter. We're parking lot players. We'll put the ball down in the middle of a parking lot and play. So it doesn't matter where we are, what we'll do. We're doing it together. So
your stone cutters, your parking lot players. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's no mosquitoes down in New London there by the by Long Island Sound. But one of the things I've noticed about the Coast Guard this season, they won a couple of overtime games. All of the games that you guys have played in have been basically within 14 points. So do you think that the close game experience is something that will come in handy this weekend? Because it sounds like both teams have really been kind of just living a little dangerously here, and it's probably going to be one of those games that goes into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got another good opponent with Coast Guard, obviously, this week. And talking about, being a part of those kind of close games and those hard-fought battles where we're going back and forth and, we might be down or we might be up and a team might make a run. And I think that's been really good for us. It really brings out true character. It's really easy when you're up, 42-7 or 42-14. But I think true character comes up when you're down or when things aren't easy. And I think, going against Coast Guard this week, we played them the past obviously few years and we beat them, but they've been a great opponent and they've never quit. Throughout the whole game, they play hard, and we know that they're going to battle and give us a tough game, and we're going to be prepared for that.
As a whole, the NUMAC conference has improved a lot. I mean, you look at some of the teams we've gotten here, and we just got a lot of good athletes, good players, good coaches. So as a whole, the NUMAC has just improved a lot.
So I actually know a little bit of strategy to beat Coast Guard. I'm going to tell you right now, and Coach George is probably going to be very ticked off at me for doing this. But we've got you guys here this week. So while Ryan Jones is on the field, make sure you bring the shake weight and just keep shaking that thing within his view, because I'm sure that will frustrate him. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, Chad, you're a quarterback. You throw the ball like once, twice a game or something like that. I mean, if you saw somebody with a shake weight on the other sideline as you're cocking back to throw the ball, what would you do? What would happen to you?
I'd probably go ask him if I could use it.
You gotta get that looking nice somehow.
There you go.
Okay, so you just pull down the pass and run to the sideline basically and gain 30 yards and ask him to use it. Got it. Okay, guys.
This is the kryptonite. That's it. This is the kryptonite.
Wow. So I think while we are not really, FCC reliant here, we are really close to crossing lines. I think that Springfield College would appreciate us not crossing. But we do have to give you shout-outs still. God help me. Chad, I'm going to let you go first. Show Bainter how this is done. The respectful way of doing a shout-out to family, friends, teammates, etc. that might be watching.
I'm a veteran. You go. No. Use your time.
This is
you
my
go.
time. Right, it was my time.
Yeah, whatever you do.
I appreciate it. First of all, just thank the both of you for everything that you do. Jokes aside, we really appreciate all the hard work that you put in for D3 football for us here at Springfield, and it really means a lot to us. Just the coverage that you do, Avi. It's unbelievable every week. Just to go on Twitter and to see stuff. The interactions with you and Nick and everything like that. It's great. So thank you again for all your hard work. I like to shout out just my family. My pop's back home, who I'll probably send this link to, let him watch this video. My sister who's at school. My brother's out in California. My mom who's always working. Just some of my friends from high school, and just guys that have been a part of my life. And then everyone here at Springfield too. Obviously, we should appreciate all the support that we get from athletics, administration, all the other student athletes and students here at Springfield. All the support we get is incredible and awesome. So shout out to everyone.
Nick, unfortunately, we've run out of time, so thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Bainter. It's all you.
Again, to reiterate what Chad said, you guys are doing an incredible job, supporting D3 football, Springfield College, and, it's pretty awesome that all the coverage you guys give us, and obviously the interactions with us. But, I'll give a shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother and sister, always showing up to my games. A shout out to Coach Sean Tarpey at East Bridgewater High School. He graduated from here, and he's been a huge impact on my life. Also, shout out to Coach McDermott there as well. And also shout out to John Cena, because I put his name down every single game for the ticket booth, so he has a free ticket. And I feel like it's only right. He's a Springfield grad. He was a center, and he still hasn't shown up to one of my games, and I've been doing that for 4 years. So, but hey, whatever.
Come on, John.
Yeah.
Does he know this? Does he know about this?
I try to tweet at him. I try to get in contact with him as much as I can, but it's all right.
Okay, we're going to work on this, actually. We'll make sure he sees this. We'll figure out a way. I've got a couple ideas. I am in New York City, and so he, I think, is still with the Today Show from time to time.
Oddly enough, guys, I don't know if you know this, but literally the WWE training center is like 10 minutes down the road from my house. So I occasionally will see, all these wrestling guys. So yeah, when you guys come down for spring break, you go, throw each other around in the ring or whatever. And yeah, it's funny. Like the last flight my wife and I took, Braun Strowman was right in front of us before in the security line. So yeah, we see a lot of wrestlers down here in Orlando. It's just kind of haven't seen John yet. I think he lives in Tampa, but who knows? Maybe that's another avenue. We could try.
That's why JB's the cool one out of the two of us. I think that's well known across the region that he's the cool one, and I'm I don't know what the hell they think I am. But anyway, I want to give a shout out before we leave.
Guitar Hero.
So
what, say again?
You have the cool jacket.
You're the cool one to me.
You like the Sparkle Man thing, huh? Nick, if you would fit anything, I would give it to you.
I could borrow that actually at some point, maybe for our banquet.
Chad, you're too tall. He's too large and in charge compared to me. I don't think it would work.
No fat shame. No fat shaming.
It's not fat shaming. You're just larger than I am. You're big boned. But the guy behind the computer right now, I'm going to assume is Brian McGoffin still there?
Oh yeah, it is.
Bring him in.
So let's give him a
shot.
Shout out real quick. Shout out Brian McGoffin for all the work he does. Incredible job. Also lives in the same house we lived in when he graduated from Springfield. So, but yeah, Brian.
Nice. Come on in, Brian.
I said if those walls could talk, if Townhouse 14, if they could only see us now with these two guys.
Brian, so yes, we had an interview earlier this season, I'll say. I'm not going to say when it was, but a player used the word, let's say, donkey, and the SID asked us to cleanse that, cover it and chop it, basically. Is there any part of this interview that you've witnessed that you're going to basically ask us to cut? There's been 13 instances of shake weights. I'm not sure I could catch them all if I wanted to.
Hard to pick a spot that you just really want to pinpoint on. There was a lot of gold. These guys gave you a lot to work with today.
A lot of gold. Yes, indeed.
Should I break the news to them now, Brian? That this whole thing is a joke. We didn't actually record a damn thing. He's in on it, guys.
We appreciate it anyways.
Yeah.
And they got out of some meetings, so it's great. It worked out well for everybody involved.
I guess you're going to see tomorrow if it actually shows up in our show tomorrow afternoon. Which
we have
is,
a show?
Wednesday? If it's there, I recorded it. If it's not,
Where am I?
I didn't.
Come on.
But guys, either
Great.
way,
We're looking forward to it.
we appreciate you guys. This has reached a half an hour, which is the longest player interview we've ever done. But there are two of you, so I guess we can get away with this.
Yeah.
But we appreciate what you guys have said about us, what you do for us at Springfield, Brian. You guys have been great for us over the last few years. Who knows how much longer we're going to be doing this, but guys like you make it worth doing every week, to be honest with you. So thank you. I will get there before the end of the season. Once I get through this tournament this weekend, hopefully, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
Oh, you had